Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Savio Rodrigues with Trianz. Today, I have the great pleasure of talking in this interview, with Chathuri Daluwatte, head of AI Diagnostics of Alexion Astrazeneca Rare Disease. Chathuri and I met a year ago at CDO Magazine Boston inauguration, and we chatted about MLOps and AI in healthcare. Today, we wanted to talk about a commonly overlooked area during AI for Healthcare dialogue that is happening. This is on AI diagnostics, potential to improve diagnostic journey, and health equity for rare disease patients. We dig into details on the realities of the landscape and opportunities and challenges for hospitals, SAMD companies, as well as pharmaceutical companies. Chathuri, it is so great to speak with you again. Welcome to CDO Magazine interview series.
Thank you, Savio. It's a pleasure to be here.
Chathuri, you gave an interesting perspective during CDO Magazine Boston inauguration around putting AI into production. And that piqued my interest. And we ended up chatting more. During that discussion, you shared your perspective about AI diagnostic and the opportunity it holds for rare disease. With that, it's also interesting to bring up your background because you do have a very interesting background. Can you please share with our audience a little bit about your background?
Sure, Savio. I do agree that it's a bit unusual, probably because I'm easily bored doing the same thing twice. I do have 3 degrees in 3 different fields, a bachelor's in electronics, telecom, and computer science, master's in statistics, and PhD in biomedical engineering. I worked at a medical device company, bioMérieux, then at US Food and Drug Administration, first in devices side at CDRH, and then at drug side at Cedar. Then I worked at a pharmaceutical company, Sanofi, where I worked across the value chain as well as at the enterprise level in Chief Digital Office, leading AI products and deploying AI at scale globally in a regulated environment in a very compliant manner. So I believe the common thread is bringing AI into real world to realize value, especially in life sciences.
Well, I must say that's a lot that you bring to the table in terms of all the experience. While there has been a dialogue around digital and data for the longest time, the dialogue around AI is relatively new to the community and is suddenly accelerating with recent advances like ChatGPT, specifically to find use cases, how to enable production-grade AI on top of broader tasks around taming the large amount of data that is generated and using that, especially in an ethical way. Can you please comment a bit about that, specifically sharing the perspective on AI in healthcare, which is a highly impactful and regulated industry in itself?
Sure, Savio. So coming from the AI side of the things, I believe that when organizations have data initiatives, instead of having a mindset of we will first get the data organized and then think AI, it should be done backwards. I say this because of 3 things. First, I think getting data organized is not a job that is ever complete. It's a moving target. An organization will never reach a point where they will say, okay, our data is now organized and now we can start AI. The second important point is even if an organization achieve the data organization accomplished and then start AI, they will realize really quickly that while the data is now organized, it's not organized in a way to support AI. The third and the most important point is while data organization is the low-hanging fruit, the true value generation and going from good to great comes from using AI to disrupt and realize value at larger scale. Working in the life science industry, I believe healthcare industry will be able to lead that implementation of AI in a very disciplined manner, in a very modern way. In the past 15 years, health industry has gone through digital transformation and there are many global interoperability standards already in place, such as DICOM imaging. The health industry also has regulation in place which other industries may not have to begin with, which the dialogue is starting about. So as an example, in the US, FDA has been working on how to enable AI since 21st Century Cures Act, which was passed in 2016, and guidance documents and discussion papers are already published from FDA that give guidance to the industry how to do this, how to think about it. Then also from recently, the tech industry also has now started creating sustainable foundations, including interoperability standards such as NVIDIA Monai, Apple CareKit, or Google Open Health Stack that just gives all the ingredients for the healthcare industry to hit the ground running. There are still discussions around things like accountability. For example, if an algorithm gives a wrong answer, who's liable? I think is an aspect that traditionally doctors are hesitant to adopt AI. However, the risk stratification of algorithms has been in place even before AI came, because this is actually tied to the use case, not necessarily for the technology. So I don't believe it'll be drastically different for AI. With the technologies evolving to give better user experience that will help healthcare providers to adopt AI faster, uh, I believe this can mitigate healthcare provider burnout and staff shortages. I think these are aspects that other industries can investigate within life science industry and healthcare to learn from AI in healthcare innovation.
No, it certainly seems very promising, and it's it's a difficult thing to navigate in itself, but very promising indeed. And you also mentioned that there are very important value realizations, for rare diseases that even most in healthcare industry may not recognize. Maybe we could dive into that a bit.
Yes, absolutely. So, unlike population health diseases that we all hear about, like diabetes, heart failure, or cancer, rare diseases are diseases we don't hear about or know about. It's actually even true even for healthcare providers. So, there are about 7,000 rare diseases, and a lot of times the symptoms of these diseases are unspecific. So the patient actually gets misdiagnosed with the more prevalent disease and get treated with the wrong therapy. Sometimes these therapies are even counterindicated for the rare disease. So, the patient does not get the right diagnosis until the disease is in a severe state, and by then the treatment may not be effective. And I really believe that AI can really help here. So just like how ChatGPT can make any of us a songwriter, or generative AI can make us an artist, we can take expert knowledge around rare diseases to healthcare providers, embedding them into the clinician's workflow using AI to prompt them to think rare if there is a patient in front of them that fits the criteria. I'll give you an example. Cardiac amyloidosis is a rare disease that is often misdiagnosed as heart failure or other heart diseases. Both heart failure and amyloidosis patients get an echocardiogram during their diagnosis workup. So if we can just add an AI to that radiology workflow of echocardiogram, that AI will prompt to the radiologist that there are signatures of amyloidosis while this echo is taken, and that will help early diagnosis of the rare disease patient. In fact, such solutions are already approved by FDA and also being validated in clinics as well. There are about 522 FDA-approved algorithms, and two-thirds of them are actually in radiology. One of the important aspects around this AI in healthcare is that today, when such algorithms are built, those are built around the technology, for example, MRI, or around major diseases like heart failure. And rare diseases fall through the cracks by innovators because they don't know about it. The second important piece is that when AI in healthcare is integrated into the hospital systems, which is an investment decision by the CDO or the CTO, solutions that help reduce physician burden are what gets implemented. And from the HCP side as well, the rare disease again fall through the cracks. So this is why I believe that CDO magazine has a unique opportunity to create dialogue and awareness around this value proposition and adoption for rare diseases, because we do have a lot of healthcare CDOs in our global editorial board as well as members of our community.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Chathuri. It's indeed, a unique opportunity. Just the AI diagnostics, the single biggest opportunity to improve the diagnostic journey and health equity for rare disease patients. Well, that's about the time we have for today. I would like to thank my guest, Chathuri Daluwatte, Head of AI Diagnostics at Alexion Astrazeneca Rare Disease. Thank you so much for your time, Chathuri, and please visit CDO Magazine Tech for additional interviews.
Thank you.